जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी। जय गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी। जय गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय निताय सचिनंदन निताय सचिनंदन निताय सचिनंदन गौर हरि। जय निताय सचिनंदन निताय सचिनंदन निताय सचिनंदन गौर हरि। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव। जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव। जय जय गुरुदेव। निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौरा हरि बोल। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining the Bhagavatam discussion. We will start with the Mangalacharan prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगल्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Today we are reading verse 20 from chapter 15 of Canto 1. I will share the screen. Verse 20, okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, verse 20. सोऽहं नृपेन्द्ररहितः पुरुषोत्तमेन सख्या प्रियेण सुहृदा हृदयेन शून्यः अध्वन्युरुक्रमपरिग्रहमङ्गरक्षन् गोपैरसद्भिरबलेव विनिर्जितोऽस्मि। सोऽहं नृपेन्द्ररहितः पुरुषोत्तमेन सख्या प्रियेण सुहृदा हृदयेन शून्यः अध्वन्युरुक्रम परिग्रहमङ्गरक्षन् गोपैरसद्भिरबलेव विनिर्जितोऽस्मि। सोऽहं नृपेन्द्ररहितः पुरुषोत्तमेन सख्या प्रियेण सुहृदा हृदयेन शून्यः अध्वन्युरुक्रम परिग्रहमङ्गरक्षन् गोपैरसद्भिरबलेव विनिर्जितोऽस्मि. Anybody would like to chant?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, please.
I can try, Prabhu. Soham Nrupendra Rahita Purushottamena Sakya Priyena Suhrida Hridayena Sunya Advani Urukrama Parigraham Angarakshan Gopair Asadbhir Abaleva Vinirjitosmi. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anybody else?
I can try, Prabhu. 1 second, actually. Soham Nripendra Rahita Purushottamena Shakye Priyena Suhrida Hridayena Sunyah Advant Yurukrama Parigraham Anga Rakshan Gopir Shabdir Gopair Shadbir Abaleva Vinirjitosmi. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Sorry, I was not able to recite properly.
No, it was good, Mataji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Soham Vendra Rahita Purushottamena Sakya Priyena Surdha Hirdayani Shunya Advani Urkarma Parikraman Karakshan Goper Ashadbir Apaleva Vinirichito Asmi. Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
We will read synonyms. Saha, that, Aham, myself. Nripa Indra, emperor. Rahitaha, bereft of. Purusha Uttamena, by the Supreme Lord. Sakhya, by my friend. Priyena, by my dearmost. Suhrida, by the well-wisher. Hridayena, by the heart and soul. Shunyaha, vacant. Advani, recently. Urukrama Parigraham, the wives of the all-powerful. Anga, bodies. Rakshan, while protecting. Gopai, by the cowherds. Asadbhihi, by the infidels. Abala iva, like a weak woman. Vinirjitaha asmi, I have been defeated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. O Emperor, now I am separated from my friend and dearmost well-wisher, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore my heart appears to be void of everything. In his absence, I have been defeated by a number of infidel cowherd men while I was guarding the bodies of all the wives of Krishna. Purport. The important point in this verse is how it was possible that Arjuna could be defeated by a gang of ignoble cowherd men, and how such mundane cowherd men could touch the bodies of the wives of Lord Krishna, who were under the protection of Arjuna. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura has justified the contradiction by research in the Vishnu Purana and Brahma Purana. In these Puranas, it is said that once the fair denizens of heaven pleased Ashtavakra Muni by their service and were blessed by the Muni to have the Supreme Lord as their husband. Ashtavakra Muni was curved in 8 joints of his body, and thus he used to move in a peculiar curved manner. The daughters of the demigods could not check their laughter upon seeing the movements of the Muni, and the Muni, being angry at them, cursed them that they would be kidnapped by rogues, even if they would get the Lord as their husband. Later on, the girls again satisfied the Muni by their prayers, and the Muni blessed them that they would regain their husband even after being robbed by the rogues. So in order to keep the words of the great Muni, the Lord himself kidnapped his wives from the protection of Arjuna. Otherwise, they would have at once vanished from the scene as soon as they were touched by the rogues. Besides that, some of the gopis who prayed to become wives of the Lord returned to their respective positions after their desire was fulfilled. After the departure of Lord Krishna, he wanted all his entourage back to Godhead, and they were called back under different conditions only. So this verse is now Arjuna is speaking to Yudhishthira Maharaj about the why he feels so depressed and all those emotions when he came back from Dwaraka. So the context is Krishna left this material world after his Pragat pastime, and then Arjuna is feeling the separation and going through this particular situation, and then he's expressing different history and his feelings, etc. So part of that in this verse now he's mentioning that a very interesting lesson through Arjuna. Krishna is manifesting here through this Arjuna's this particular feeling that of course he's telling, I am separated from my dearmost well-wisher, Supreme Lord, and his heart appears to be void of everything, blank, which is very natural. And then he's mentioning in his absence, he was defeated by a number of very simple, not so powerful, at least looking, simple cowherd men. And then he was guarding the bodies of the wives of Krishna. So basically he was taking the wives of Krishna, and this cowherd men attacked and defeated Arjuna. And Arjuna is he's understanding that in this instance, unlike Kurukshetra battle, Krishna is not with him, at least physically. Krishna is not with him. In Kurukshetra battle, Krishna was with him. So he was able to defeat literally everyone. But now the simple cowherd men, they are not trained to become warriors or anything like that. They are not powerful in any way compared to Arjuna, but he was defeated. And next verse he will expand, which I will not go into. But at least he is feeling that difference when Krishna is with him and Krishna is not with him. So Krishna's presence, how significant is Krishna's presence with any living entity? So the Krishna is simply teaching that, because Arjuna is never separated from Krishna. Even though Krishna is physically not present, Arjuna is always thinking about Krishna, and he is with Krishna only in that sense. So there is no possibility of Arjuna being defeated in that consciousness. But Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas mentions that through this pastime and many other pastime, even Bhagavad Gita itself, Arjuna was bewildered by the arrangement of Krishna. Otherwise, he need not be bewildered in that way. So similarly here, Arjuna is playing that role to teach us that without Krishna's presence or without Krishna's mercy or without Krishna's empowerment, no living entity can do anything. So nothing can be done, even very simple, like moving our hands or breathing or doing anything. We need Krishna's help, support, empowerment, and everything. So he's teaching that through Arjuna, that's all. So Srila Prabhupada expands the context here by mentioning that Ashtavakra Muni. So we can see from Prabhupada's purports, Ashtavakra Muni is an impersonalist. So he is not a pure devotee, but he is a Muni. He has some potency and he has done austerities, etc. So he was pleased by the demigods, denizens of heaven, and Ashtavakra Muni blessed the ladies to have Supreme Lord as their husband. But since Ashtavakra Muni was curved in 8 joints, Ashtavakra means 8 curved in his body. So he doesn't look beautiful in that way. So when he walks, it is weird, of course. So the daughters of the demigods could not stop their laughter. So when they did this way, he felt insulted, Ashtavakra Muni. So he naturally, people who are not pure devotees, if they are insulted, they will respond or react back. So he was angry and he cursed them that they would be kidnapped by rogues. But even if they would get the Lord, still, even if they become wives of Krishna, still they will be kidnapped. Now to satisfy Ashtavakra Muni's words, Krishna himself, that's what here it is mentioned, Krishna himself robed the wives, because no one else can touch Krishna's wives or any of the associates of Krishna. So Krishna arranged this pastime without Arjuna's awareness, of course. Arjuna did not know it is Krishna's arrangement, but they were kidnapped, but Krishna himself did that. And then Prabhupada expands that there are other gopis who wanted to become wives of Lord. They also, after the pastime, because Krishna ended his pastime, so his associates are also completing their pastimes with Krishna, or Krishna is making that arrangement that they also come back to their respective positions. Many of them came from spiritual world, and some of them came from heavenly realm to support Krishna on Krishna's instruction. So here these wives of Krishna, they are also going back. So this is the context. And Arjuna is realizing that without Krishna, he is literally nothing. His power, whatever he had, all his Gandiva and all other skills he acquired throughout this life, right from childhood, everything was useless, or it became useless, or he was not able to utilize any of that because Krishna was not with him. So the lesson is very important for us to have that consciousness when we do anything and everything. that we need Krishna's mercy to do any little thing or any major things. Now Krishna is having different roles with living entities. He is sitting in the hearts of every living entity as Paramatma or Super Soul. He's observing and he's sanctioning. So even if some person or persons are not devotees, or if they are, of course, they are disconnected from Krishna, all the living entities in this material world. So in that situation, even if they don't know who Krishna is, they forgot probably. And they are acting, of course, in many ways to gratify their own senses in different moods of nature, etc. But they need Krishna's sanction as Super Soul. Super Soul sanction is required. We can see that from Bhagavad Gita to do anything, even if the person doesn't know that Lord is sanctioning. So that is one aspect, but that sanction is simply based on the living entities' karma, past karma. So based on that, whatever they deserve, the living entity can execute. Whatever the person doesn't deserve, they cannot. Even if they wish to do, suppose one person wants to become the president of a country or something, for example, if they have that credit from their past karma, then Krishna will sanction that and they can become. But if they don't have that credit, then they cannot, even if they wish or anything like that. So Krishna's sanction is there without our awareness. That is one aspect. But now for devotees, one who surrendered completely or even partially to Krishna, he is not simply acting as an observer and sanctioning based on our past karma, but he is acting in such a way that we can come closer to him. In Bhagavad Gita, verse 10.10, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So, but this is special category of living entities who are satata yuktanam, always serving Krishna with love and devotion, of course. Bhajatam priti purvakam. For them, Krishna gives intelligence. He is not only simply observing and sanctioning something based on karma, but he is giving intelligence by which they can come back to Krishna. So this is Krishna's special mercy to his devotees. So now this verse is reminding us that aspect of Krishna. And then 10.11, he speaks about, he removes the ignorance from the heart so that we become completely pure, the devotee. That's a much better position. So that is Krishna's position. He is reciprocating with devotees. So we just need to be aware of this fact. We have to be conscious that whatever we are able to do, it is because Krishna is sanctioning us to do. Krishna is making us execute that particular activity in whatever way, and the outcome is again based on Krishna's will. We generally, at least sadhakas also sometimes, at least myself, I can say, we forget the fact that I'm able to do this because Krishna is sanctioning. Sometimes, yes, I think, but sometimes we forget these things. I am doing this, or I have to do this, somehow I have to make this happen. So let me think. And then when things are done nicely, sometimes we get puffed up or we become proud, or if someone appreciates, we take that as oh, I have done something great, things like that. These are common in the material world, but we are instructed through this pastime to realize and remind ourselves that Krishna has made us, or his mercy is actually acting. So there are two things, of course, our effort and his mercy. The Damodar pastime teaching us that. So our effort is very, very important. This doesn't instruct us, we don't need to do anything, just sit idle and Krishna will do everything for us. That is wrong understanding. We have to make full effort with the understanding that anything will happen only by Krishna's mercy. So the action is becoming complete, or the outcome is happening because of Krishna's mercy. But it requires our effort. Then Krishna's mercy can make things happen. Of course, Krishna can do anything, even if we are idle, Krishna can make things happen. That is his potency, infinite potency, unlimited potency. But generally we are, the relationship is mutual. So we do something and then Krishna reciprocate with that. And it has that sweetness aspect also. So we don't need to act like a dead being. Krishna is giving us the free will to act. But how to act, he is giving us instructions also through Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and through acharyas, their lives, examples, etc. So this verse, in that sense, this verse is very, very important for our general existence, especially our progress in Krishna consciousness. How much we remember Krishna moment to moment is what we have to. It is like manmana bhavamad bhakto, etc. Satatam kirtayanto mam, etc. Always thinking about Krishna, always chanting his glories, etc. So there are many verses, many scriptures remind us about this fact. And I will go through a few of the verses which inspired me. So I'll start with Canto 11, chapter 1, verse 4. In this verse, so this is when Krishna, the chapter's name itself is Curse upon the Yadu dynasty. So Krishna is arranging this situation wherein Yadu dynasty will be cursed and then they will quarrel themselves and die because no one else can defeat them because they are Krishna's close associates. So Krishna made this arrangement. And there are many descriptions about why this happened this way by the acharyas, etc. So not going into those details, but in this verse, Krishna is thinking very nicely. We can see how Krishna thinks in Bhagavatam. So he's thinking like this: no outside force could ever bring about the defeat of this family, which is Yadu dynasty, because they are always surrendered to me and are unrestricted in their opulence. But if I inspire a quarrel within the dynasty, the quarrel will act just like a fire created from the friction of bamboo in a groove. And then I shall achieve my real purpose and return to my eternal abode. So he's thinking like this and making these arrangements for the Yadu dynasty to seemingly destroy themselves externally, but he's simply taking them back to their own original position. So in this context, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out a very nice thing, that no one within the universe was capable of even insulting the members of Yadu dynasty. So what to speak of defeating them or killing them? So because they have taken full shelter of Krishna, and they are always under the personal protection of the Lord. And this is applicable to the wives of Krishna also, who were kidnapped by the so-called cowherd men when Arjuna was taking them. So this is just a pastime. That is what even Jiva Goswami also described these things elaborately, that because there are some pastimes wherein the description is some of the Yadu dynasty members started acting improperly. So Krishna wanted to, stop their improper action by destroying them by themselves, etc. But these are externally looking features, but internally they are all Krishna's servants, and Krishna has such affection towards them. So Krishna is just making their disappearance in a particular way. At the same time, he wanted to teach the material world, teach the living entities also. So he's actually using them to instruct us also. Otherwise, he can simply take them out without having any of these weird looking way of disappearing by quarreling, etc. It is just to make us realize that even if you are very close to the Supreme Lord, you are very opulent, you have so much power and all these things, this is material world. Maya can catch us and anything can happen to anybody. So we have to be very cautious. In other words, we have to be always under the shelter of Guru and Krishna. Otherwise, Mare Krishna Rakhe Krishna Mare Ke. If Krishna wants to protect someone, no one can kill him. And if Krishna wants to kill someone, no one can save him. So everything is happening by Krishna's will, and Krishna is in full control. There is no question about that. So these pastimes are simply simply for teaching us. We cannot misunderstand the characters in these pastime or their characters or qualities just by seeing these pastimes. People do without knowing Krishna's unlimited potency and kindness and his way of dealing things. So here, and another verse in 10th canto, this is 89th chapter. Here actually Arjuna is again participating in this pastime where the Brahmana's 10 sons were kidnapped. So they got killed from a mundane perspective externally. Brahmana is having one child and child was killed. Next one was born, he was killed. He's complaining to the Dwaraka assembly, in the assembly, and he's blaspheming the king. Because of king's disqualification, these things are happening, etc., etc. And then Arjuna becomes very, being a Kshatriya, so he guarantees the Brahman that I will definitely save. But then, if I am not able to save, I will, jump into the fire and finish my life. And Krishna heard this also, and Arjuna is failing in his promise. And then he was about to jump into the fire, and Krishna comes and helps Arjuna, being his dearmost devotee. Krishna took him to the world of abode of Lord Vishnu, and then the whole pastime happens there. The kids were returned, and Lord Vishnu wanted to see Krishna, even though Vishnu is manifestation of Krishna. And so in this context, Arjuna is thinking like this. He got completely amazed, and he concluded that whatever extraordinary power a person exhibits can only be a manifestation of Sri Krishna's mercy, because he thought he could save the children, but he could not. Then Krishna actually saved him, Arjuna. So that time also he realizes that how significant is Krishna's mercy, and without which nothing can be done. But with Krishna's mercy, anything can be done. If Krishna wants someone to do whatever impossible, so-called impossible thing, yeah, Krishna can make it happen. Otherwise, no. So Arjuna is realizing in this context. And then another verse which I really love, this verse, many reasons. This is Prahlad Maharaj offering prayers in 7th canto, 7, 9, 19. And this very reasonably celebrated verse. So I'll chant the verse also. Maybe I'll share the screen. It's nice to see the verse. So balasya neha sharanam pitarau nrsimha nartasya chagadamudanmati majjato nau taptasya talpratividhiryahi hanjaseshta vibhotanubhritam tvadupekshitanam. So the verse says like this. He's praying to Lord Nrsimhadev. My Lord Nrsimhadev, O Supreme, because of a bodily conception of life, embodied souls neglected and not cared for by you cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, material remedies, although perhaps temporarily beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and mother cannot protect their child. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient, and a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. Of course, this is very bewildering for a mundane person, where a father and mother cannot protect their child. Then who else is taking care of the child? How these children became adults, including all of us. Generally, the credit goes to the parents. But then here it is telling father and mother cannot protect their child. And next one is more bewildering. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient. But the whole experience is, if we are sick, we go to a physician or a specialist doctor and take some medicine, and yes, we are cured most of the time. But there are instances wherein we are not cured also. But they think, yes, this is the credit goes to physician and medicine. Because of this medicine, we are saved. So we have to spend a lot of money, effort, and doing research in finding out new medicines, even to find medicine to become immortal. Scientists are doing very seriously. And a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. That's also bewildering. A boat can take the man into the boat and then he's safe. Then how this is true? Why this is being prayed by Prahlad Maharaj? So his point is, it is not that a father or mother need not take care of the child. They don't need to because they cannot protect. Not like that. Or a physician has to give a medicine, or we need to use a boat in case of somebody is drowning. Yes, we have to act, but as I mentioned before, we hear this from Bhagavad Gita also, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. We think we are the doer. Because of our whatever action, the outcome is happening. That is not true. The outcome is happening in that way, whatever way. It could be looking good or it could be looking bad. But that is happening because of the mercy of Supreme Lord. That is what here Prahlad Maharaj is praying and reminding us also. And this purport is very amazing purport. I won't read the whole thing, but I'll read a few things. Here, despite the presence of a father and mother, a child cannot be protected from accidental death. We see that not once or twice, but many cases, or disease and various other miseries. Yes, parents are there, they are taking care, they are trying to protect, but still things happen in this way. No one can help, including the parents. Because the shelter is the Lord, and one who takes shelter of the Lord is protected. Again, this protection of Lord is not just simply protecting the body. Sometimes the body is lost, but the person is protected spiritually also. That is guaranteed. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktaha pranashyati. Krishna declares through Arjuna that my devotee never perishes. And then medicine, we know many cases. Medicine is given, the best doctor or best doctors are trying to save but not able to save. And many times, yes, doctors are able to save also, but that is by the causeless mercy of the Lord. So this is very important, and Prabhupada writes here, in this material world, everyone is trying to counteract the onslaught of material nature. But everyone is ultimately fully controlled by the material nature. So this is the conflict happening in the material world. We are all familiar with this. We are trying to counteract the onslaught, miseries of material nature, but then we are controlled and we are pretty much defeated by the material nature. That's why Krishna spoke in Bhagavad Gita, Mama Maya Duratyaya. And Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam paradhyate. So you take shelter of me, then I will save you from Maya, onslaught of Maya. So and Kunti Devi prays her prayer about this that famous prayer that materially exalted people generally do not take shelter of Krishna because they are puffed up with their opulence, all these Sri Janmaishwarya, Shruta, Sri, etc. And they tend to forget who is behind all these things. Even if one is opulent, why and how they are opulent, from where they got these opulence, the mercy of Krishna. So they forget that fact, especially if one is very wealthy and not a devotee, that there is a high chance that they forget the source behind this. So Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, Srila Prabhupada writes, these four sufferings are very, very difficult to cross over. No one can avoid birth just like that. Yes, one takes shelter of Krishna, get out of this material world after becoming completely pure, then yes, we are crossing over the ocean of this birth and death. Otherwise, no one can stop these things. So, Prabhupada is very, 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 very strong in mentioning this Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam, nature of material world. In most of his lectures, we can see that he is repeating these aspects to remind us the reality of this material world and to remind us why and how we should take shelter of Krishna. Because if someone says, okay, you just take shelter of Krishna, naturally the question arises, why would I take shelter of Krishna? I am okay now. What is the need? But then Prabhupada is always emphasizing, this is the need, this is what you are going through. Probably you are not realizing this. Please realize this, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. You are going through this, and if you have to come out of this, this is the only solution. Take shelter of the source of all these things, controller of this everything, Krishna. And another verse in 7th canto, this is again a very nice verse. So this prayer is mentioning about, Prahlad Maharaj is mentioning that I am not afraid of material existence. For wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. So he's teaching us in a simple words, yes, this material world is very, very, very dangerous, but I am not afraid. And he's not taking credit for that. He's taking, because I am taking shelter of you, my Supreme Lord. I am always absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. So this is a tip. One becomes devotee of Krishna by thinking the pastimes and glories and activities of Krishna, Manmana. Then one is not afraid of the material existence. But Prahlad Maharaj says, my concern is not that I am in this material world and I have to go through all this, because I'm not afraid. I know what to do. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. He's the Acharya of Vishnu Smaranam. But he's telling, my concern is all these fools and rascals. He's pointing to his citizens, but at least I'm included in that. All the conditioned souls who are making elaborate plans. That is his worry. If they're trying to cross over this ocean, then that is a much better position, because they know this is not the right place. But instead they are thinking this is the right place. I know how to enjoy this, or I can enjoy here. I have that hope, and making elaborate plans for material happiness. Thinking that again here, today's verse, Arjuna is realizing without Krishna, nothing can happen. But conditioned souls are forgetting that also. And they are thinking, I can make this plan, I can execute, then I can enjoy. Forgetting that only Krishna's mercy can make anything happen here. They forget that and make all these plans and try to do all those so-called duties, maintaining the families, societies, countries. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling, I am concerned, simply concerned with love for them. He has intense love for them, compassion, definitely. And Prabhupada showed the exact same compassion. Today is his Prabhupada's arrival day at United States of America. And why did he go there? He was very, very, very comfortable. He was in the best possible situation for a devotee in Vrindavan, Radha Damodar temple, and he's hearing the chanting of Radhe Radhe, Krishna, Hare Krishna, and all the glories of Krishna wherever he goes. And from that position, without anything in hand, without anybody knowing, no plans to stay, where to stay, and anything, he just started his journey and he landed in this particular Western world. Why he did that? We all know, we are all the recipient of his mercy, his compassion. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling that compassion. So he is reminding us about Krishna and how to take shelter of Krishna. He taught us, he demonstrated himself. And Prabhupada also did that very wonderful way of demonstrating in a way which is very easily can be done by any one of us in this Kali Yuga, later part of this Kali Yuga. Nobody could say, I cannot do what you are telling. So he made things very simple. All he is asking us is chant the holy name and offer something to Krishna and have feast and then dance. In simple words, of course, there are details to that, but at least if you do this, he is guaranteeing that I will take you from this material world to the spiritual world. So that kind of assurance he has given. And in the same context where how these conditioned souls are materially engrossed, they are blind to the knowledge of the ultimate truths, that there is some person who is behind everything, who is seeing everything, who is making everything happen. He is the Supreme Lord. People forget that. And then they are, instead of listening about that person, they are listening to many subject matters in this human society, which is very common. And one more verse I wanted to touch up, and then I will conclude. So this verse is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 22nd chapter, verse 16. It's a long verse, so I don't want to read the verse, but I'll just read the translation. It is beautiful translation. Let me share the screen so you can follow up. So this translation is here. O my Lord, there is no limit to the unwanted orders of lusty desires. Although I have rendered them so much service, that means service to these lusty desires instead of serving Krishna. So although I have done service to these lusty desires, they have not shown any mercy to me. That is a difference. When we do a little bit of service to Krishna, he reciprocates with abundance of mercy. But when we serve the lusty desires, they are not showing mercy to us. We are still being harassed. And I have not been ashamed to serve them, nor have I even desired to give them up. That is the unfortunate condition of conditioned souls. Now the prayer goes like this. O my Lord, O head of the Jayadu dynasty, recently, however, my intelligence has been awakened, and now I am giving them up, all those lusty desires. Due to transcendental intelligence, I now refuse to obey the unwanted orders of these desires. So the mind is now a friend, not an enemy. So mind is refusing to unfavorable things. And I now come to you to surrender myself at your lotus feet, fearless lotus feet. Kindly engage me in your personal service and save me. So it's a very nice prayer, which is meant for, of course, conditioned souls. And it gives us the clue how to, whom to serve, first of all, and then how to be saved from this material world. So when we are in that position wherein we understand that Krishna is the controller and that is my shelter, that is a safe or safest shelter for me for anything and everything, then we realize the way Arjuna is realizing that with Krishna's presence, for us, Krishna may not be standing in front of us, or even if he stands, we cannot see. But if we take shelter of Krishna through the chanting of the holy name, Srimad Bhagavatam, these are given to us in this Kali Yuga, and discussing with devotees, we can serve the spiritual master, pure devotees, as much as possible. Through these simple mechanisms, we are actually inviting Krishna to our life, and Krishna will take charge of our activities. Without doing that, then we can become in that situation wherein Arjuna was not able to utilize any of his so-called gifts or skills or whatever training he personally went through. All those things are useless or become useless if we are not. Krishna is wanting to be with us, there is no doubt, but if we are not inviting Krishna to our life, our hearts, then all our capacity, sometimes we may feel like, yes, this I'm able to use and I'm seeing some outcome, yes, I'm doing nicely, let me go ahead. But many times people will collapse without even their awareness, and they wonder what happened to me. I was doing nicely with my so-called skills. We have plenty of examples. You take the sports, we have a lot of examples. I just want to say this nice event or speech I heard. This person is a sportsman, Western person. He's not a devotee of Krishna, but I'm sure he has some insight into spirituality, because he was telling that he he got trained in that particular sports, I guess tennis or something, and he felt that yes, he can do nicely and all those things, and he was becoming one of the top player, etc. But then he realized this very wonderful thing that he gets appreciation when he defeats someone. Maybe he become the champion, he gets an appreciation. Yeah, you have done great, and some news channel, this, that. But he mentioned that I just realized that this happiness which I received by hearing that appreciation there, that is ending for probably few minutes or few hours, or worst case, couple of days. After that, everything is back. I have to think about next game and all this anxiety. Now I have to practice, I have to defeat some other person because I'm already the champion, and all additional stress, etc. So all those happiness went away. So it was existing only for very short period of time. He realized that, many doesn't. And then he told that, then why would I work too hard to receive this short, very short happiness, duration of happiness? Instead, yes, I know I have to play, but let me focus on his vision was, of course, not ultimate, but let me focus on my family. Let me spend time for my family. Let me not sacrifice giving my time to the family. And after that, I will, give my time for my profession, this sports, playing, etc. So he realized that the so-called outcome we received from whatever material achievement, I'm just generalizing it. He realized that the happiness of that is very short. But rest of the time, people are struggling to achieve next, whatever level of achievement, this, that, and they're in that chain. So, but now we can see this Arjuna's realization. Of course, Arjuna is pure devotee. Acharyas say this. Arjuna, is never alone. He's always with Krishna. And this pastime is, they're emphasizing this. This pastime is not to show that Arjuna forgot Krishna and he became puffed up and he fought and cowherdmen defeated. Then he realized after getting the defeat that Krishna is giving me empowerment. No, he knew everything. He knew everything, but Krishna is orchestrating this through him to teach us that we have to remember this fact that Krishna is always giving us empowerment, strength, mercy, skill, everything pretty much. And all we have to do is simply reciprocate in a very simple way within our capacity by taking shelter of him, especially through the holy name in this age of Kali. And then then even if there is defeat, so-called material defeat, materially probably we may get defeated, we may lose something which we had, we may come across situation wherein we wanted this, but things happened the right opposite way. But we understand that I'm taking shelter of Krishna and doing this, and if this is the outcome, that is the best for me at this moment, and that is Krishna's plan. So why would I worry? Like Prahlad Maharaj, he never complained that I'm being harassed by my father and all these things. I just accept. You want to kill me? Yes, you can kill me. And he just went ahead with that plan fearlessly, but taking shelter of Krishna. And then his life itself is very interesting and very inspiring for all of us. That faith, even though we may not be able to get to that level right now, but we can increase our faith by 1% by hearing these pastimes, even Pandava's pastimes. The whole life is full of miseries. They are pure devotees. Why? So Krishna is using them to teach us all these things. So anyway, I think this discussion can keep going on. There are many pastimes. Draupadi's pastime, she took shelter of Krishna finally, and she was saved by Krishna in the assembly of Kauravas. Again, it's not because Draupadi is not understanding she has to take Krishna's shelter, but she was just an instrument in that pastime, teaching us, don't take temporary shelters, but right away take Krishna's shelter, then we will be saved. So I'll stop here and invite you to add your own realizations or correct me if I have spoken anything wrong or not appropriate. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prema, Vardhan, Prabhu, please accept our humble obeisance. All glory Srila Prabhupada.
My humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu, please.
It's always very nice to see you and see you doing well in Krishna consciousness. Very happy to hear from you regularly. Thank you for making the effort in spite of the distance and other obligations. The beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam is can bring devotees together no matter where they are. So thank you very much for
Thank you
explaining
for
this.
meet again and again. You were kindly
Mm,
allowing me
very,
to be.
very wonderful explanation of the pastime and the nature of the devotee and how to appreciate such pastimes. I'll dear devotees, please speak up, share your questions or comments, or if you need clarification, please share. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for
Hare
a
Krishna.
nice class, Prabhu. This particular verse comes as a series of verses where Arjuna recalls multiple pastimes with Krishna and shares that and feels like all his power was vanished, right? Like I was reading this verse, and especially the second line. I can bring up my screen if you want. Multiple things were shared.
Yeah, I
This
can share.
particular, yeah, I'm sharing, Prabhu. This
Hare
particular
Krishna.
one, yeah. Sakya Priyena Suhrada. Man, what a wonderful line where, man, Arjuna, I mean, through his humility, he teaches us multiple lessons, whether in Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. And this particular line talks about friend, beloved, and well-wisher, right?
Yeah,
And you stressed on that point where, and through Arjuna is teaching us, without Krishna's presence, all the living entities, we can't do anything basically. All the, I mean, and as I said, like in the last couple of verses, what we've been reading is all the strength and success comes only through Krishna's presence, and without Krishna's presence, and I mean, it's like void. I mean, empty-hearted, like Hridayana Sunya. And thanks for giving multiple references from Shastra, and when you mentioned about I mean, various verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very
very
much.
nicely summarized the essence. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I
Correct.
believe this might mislead again, like in the contemporary readers about the Abaleva, like what is this line?
Yeah,
The powerless women, but again, it is more uh, about like, Arjuna is comparing his defeat with the powerless woman.
yeah, it's debatable.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It's like Paramakarana Prabhu and Sarvashakti Mataji posted some comments, Prabhu.
Okay, yeah, I'm waiting. Thank you for very nice kind words.
Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your wonderful classes always. Very, very nice when you give all those references from Bhagavatam, and I always look forward to your class because you give us so many connecting verses, and the way you explain it is very, very nice. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Really, really respect Krishna.
Thank you for your inspiration and showing this much love towards Bhagavatam and other services. Thank you. Hare Krishna. If there are no more comments, hopefully we will stop here. Thank you again. Srivancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa
Kripa Sindhu
Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavabhyo. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samayata Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Yes, guys, Prem Pradhana Prabhu Ki Jai. Prabhu, how's yeah, this is very nice verse. it is interesting, that Bhagavatam is speaking the spiritual essence,
Right.
but those and giving nectar, life-sustaining nectar to the devotees. But those who are not spiritually or devotionally minded, the Bhagavatam can actually make them feel like Krishna and Arjun are under the laws of karma.
Hmm.
So it's like kind of like the Mohini pastime where it hides the spiritual essence from the materialist. But those who are actually serious about spiritual life can actually find the actual meaning of the mysterious ways in which Shri Bhagavan, Krishna, conducts his Leela to give this separation and union for both the queens as well as for Shri Arjun in the due course of time. So it gives nectar to the devotees while hiding it from the non-devotees. So these pastimes, particularly for the Lord's disappearance, kind of show that, and they're very deep and not easy to understand from the material mind. I mean, how can something like Dwarka, drown in the ocean?
Right.
How can that happen? So yeah, and they're painful for devotees too in many ways. Because Lord doesn't just disappear and his sources don't disappear. It seems almost kind of like a violent, contradictory manner. But it's kind of like Naraji, with the sons of Kuvera, giving them a curse, but ultimately the curse is a blessing. So it takes a spiritual guidance to understand such, deep pastimes of separation. So, of course, the Bhagavatam doesn't speak much about it because if it does, then it would destroy the power of a devotee. So yeah, very wonderful, profound section of this chapter to understand the disappearance of Bhagavan. But, anyways, thank you for exploring it from many angles. How's your family doing? They're doing okay?
Yeah, we are doing fine. So far.
My wife was telling me, I didn't know whether this was the case, that your wonderful daughter is in the US. Is that correct?
Yeah, she just moved to US in Pennsylvania University
Oh,
just
so
last month.
so she's at University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, in Harrisburg campus.
Oh, she's in Harrisburg. Oh, that's
Right.
nice. They're devotees there, so that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Are you going to be? Are the
Pennsylvania.
two of you going to be? You and Mataji going to come sometime to the US?
Hoping if Krishna willing.
Please come visit. A lot of
Pray for
devotees
her
love.
so that she gets more connection with devotees there.
She's very sweet. She's very sweet. She will definitely enliven those devotees by her presence. So, all of her, let your good daughter know that if she needs anything, let us know.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, we would also be there seeing all of you again.
Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. It must be very hard to have your child that far away from both of you.
Pray for us.
Vanchakalpatribhyacha kripasindabeyacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishvya namo.
Oh, no.
Take care, Prabhuji. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Thank you for your seva.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much.